I just moved in with my girlfriend about a month ago. After discussing it, she agreed that we should move into my place, because it's closer to our work and stuff. We're so happy together. We had to put a lot of our furniture and stuff away because there wasn't a lot of space. To make things easier, I rented a storage unit. It seemed simple enough. We could just use it to keep our excess stuff until we move somewhere with more space or sell some of our old things. I found a place just outside of Minneapolis that rented units, and got a good deal. The owner, a pretty chill older guy named Larry, asked if we wanted management to clean out the unit before we got there. According to him, since they had no readily available empty units, the one he was offering to us had been used in the past and never cleaned out since. Records show that there had been no contact from the owner or account activity regarding said unit in over 20 years. The existing agreement on the unit had expired over 15 years ago, so he had no problem renting it to us. As there's a fee charge for them cleaning it for us, I told Larry no thanks. My friends and I wouldn't mind cleaning out the unit, especially since the items found inside were legally belonging to whoever held the current lease. Not gonna lie, I was excited to play treasure hunter and see what we found inside. What would we find inside? The possibilities were endless. It could be some jewelry we could pawn or maybe want to keep. Rare baseball cards of Babe Ruth that could be worth a fortune. Maybe some old forgotten sketch that was actually an original Picasso. Even if it was just some old furniture, we could still sell that and earn some cash. No wonder people got so excited about this sort of thing. It was really like gambling. My girlfriend and I got our unit paid for and everything and went one Sunday morning to clean it out. We made sure to bring a bunch of our friends just in case we needed their help. And to ensure their participation, I made sure to bribe them with what always works: pizza. Right when we arrived, the owner, Larry Fields, was there to greet us. "Right this way, ladies and gentlemen," he said as he walked to the unit number 34. Larry was a short, squatter guy who sort of waddled across the pavement. He had the keys in his hand to open the unit for us, as well as give us our keys. A short walk later, and we were in front of the metal door to Unit 34. Larry had opened it without much trouble, and the door opened easily for us. I could feel myself getting excited to see what we might find. Christine, that's my girlfriend, squeezed my hand in excitement. He flipped on the lights as we looked inside. At first, it looked to be just an ordinary unit. A lot of whitewashed out cement walls and everything. A light bulb or two hanging overhead. Tons of room for our stuff. The only thing taking up any space were a few duffel bags scattered around, antique desk, 2 large cedar chests, and a small car. It was a small black sedan, an 80s Ford model. Christine immediately pulled me in for a kiss, which I was thrilled to receive. "Nice choice, baby," she smiled happily. "Like I ever make anything else." She rolled her eyes at this and didn't say a word. "I'll leave it all to you. In case you need anything, you can find me at the office," Larry said cheerily as he walked off. That was like firing a starting gun at a race for us. We immediately jumped into it. From the outside, the car's interior looked absolutely filthy. A ton of old fast food garbage and rags were everywhere. It also smelled quite a bit, which didn't surprise me at all. I decided to save the car for last, since it probably required the most effort. I grabbed one of the duffel bags and carefully began to open it. It wasn't real heavy, and just before I could unzip it, my girlfriend called me. "Ben, I think you should come take a look at this," she said, sounding concerned. I immediately went over to see what she was talking about. "What's up? Are we rich?" I said with a smile, but she didn't return it. Christine had just opened one of the 2 cedar chests. Inside there was a small collection of pistols and rifles. Also in the chest were a few serrated knives, the kind usually used for hunting. "Oh, so whoever owned this must have been a hunter or something. No big deal. Maybe we can find a store or something, or someone who collects them." But there was this look on her face that said she wasn't exactly convinced. Before we could discuss it further, my friend Billy spoke up. "Dude, no way, come see this. You should be able to make some cash off of these." "Good, man." I quickly went over to Billy, who was standing at an old desk. "Watches are worth big bucks, man." I high-fived him as he saw what he was talking about. In one of the open drawers, there was probably about 20 different watches. Some of them looked pretty expensive. The old school kind. Most of them were wristwatches, with 2 or 3 pocket watches thrown in. 2 of them were even Rolexes, according to the label. I was psyched. I began taking them out of the drawer and placing them on the top of the desk so we could take them with us. Then I began going through the other drawers to see what else we could find. Opening the next drawer, I got a bit confused. No watches or valuables here, just a bunch of old driver's licenses. According to the dates on them, they were at least 20 years old. The people they belonged to were pretty diverse as well. Young, old, men, women, black, white, and from a bunch of different states. Why would someone need or keep these? "Babe?" Christine called out. Her voice seemed much more afraid than it had last time. "What are these?" As I walked over to her, I couldn't help but feel a bit tense. Something felt wrong. She was standing by the duffel bag I was about to open. She had beaten me to it, but looked genuinely afraid of something. I immediately gave her a kiss and a hug to make her feel better, which she gladly accepted. But when I kissed her, I could feel how uneasy she was. "What is it?" I asked. Now she was really starting to concern me. Christine looked so pale and terrified. She didn't say a word, but reached down and pulled something out of the red and faded duffel bag. It looked like a stack of trading cards or something. "Here," was all she said, as I looked at whatever it was. They were a stack of old pictures, Polaroid brand. You know, the kind that automatically developed back in the day. As I looked at the pictures, it felt like I'd just taken a cold shower. At first, the pictures were just of random things. A campsite, a house, a minivan, a trailer, stuff like that. One of the pictures was of the same car that was in our unit, except in the picture it was way cleaner. Then, random people began to show up. People outside, walking, fishing, and even creepier twist, some of them looked like they were sleeping. Then the pictures got weirder. Pictures of masked men in orange ski masks began to pop up. In most of the pictures, they were flashing some knives and guns that I had seen in the chest. I could feel my heart rate beginning to pick up, but I tried to take a deep breath so I can calm myself down. This had to be just a joke, right? Only one way to find out. So I kept going. Some of the people who had been photographed unknowingly were beginning to appear again. But believe me, they were not unknowingly being photographed anymore. This time, they knew someone was taking their picture, and it absolutely terrified them. You didn't need to say it, but it felt like they were being held at gunpoint. You could almost feel the fear in their eyes. Some of them looked like they had been shaken awake or caught in the middle of something. I tried telling myself that this was nothing more than a sick joke, but it didn't seem to be working anymore. Something within me just didn't buy it. Just when I had thought it couldn't get any worse, it did. Now there were pictures of countless people, men, women, and entire families looking like they were being held hostage or something. They were all tied up with rope and everything. It was without a doubt the scariest thing I had ever seen. The guys in the orange ski masks were back to pose with these people, the same way a fisherman or a hunter might pose with a piece of game that they caught. As I kept going, it was undeniable these pictures were no joke. I won't tell you what exactly was in the last few pictures showed, but I truly hope the only time you see anything like this is during a movie. With a sinking feeling in the pit of my stomach, I realized something. I had seen these people before, just moments ago on their driver's license. Immediately I dropped the photos. They scattered all over the floor, but I didn't even notice. My hands suddenly felt dirty, and I looked at them as if they were contaminated. "Do not touch another thing," I said to everyone in the unit without even looking up. "Look at those pictures. Christine and I will be right back." Without even looking, I grabbed her hand and stormed across the lot to Larry's office. Without knocking or anything, I barged inside. "No deal. We want our money back. We are not paying for whatever hell freak show is in there." "What?" He just sat there stunned. "Call the cops and then go back and look at the pictures we found." Christine stood beside me silent, her hand in mine. He immediately called the cops and told them what was up. Then Larry followed us to the unit. His reaction was about the same as mine. The police arrived and we told them what we found. Larry gave them all the records he had for the account, and that was it. Because of confidentiality agreements, he honestly had no idea what was in any of the units. Christine and I promptly got our money back and left. Needless to say, we found a different place to put our stuff. A few days ago, we got an update. A few of the old driver's licenses matched up with some of the decades-old missing persons cases. While I doubt that they were able to, I hope that they find out who had the unit before I did, and what happened to the people whose stuff we found. Hey guys, I hope you liked today's story. First off, I would like to say thank you, Grant, who is the author of today's story, and you can find him at the Grant Butler on Twitter. The links will be in the description to both his Twitter and his Reddit page, where I found this story and a ton of other stories that he's written on there. You should totally go check him out. He's got some really good stories. That being said, I am opening submissions to reading other people's horror stories. I would prefer if the stories were already edited. That way I can go ahead and record them and send them to you guys. So, if you haven't subscribed already, please do that and consider hitting the bell. It'll notify you every time I upload a video. Yeah, hope you liked today's story, and I will see you in the next video.